Well, we got a special treat today. One of my favorite parts of my job is the time I get to spend one-on-one with our owners. We've got some really interesting owners. They've all got great stories, and they usually have a passion for the company and, the lifestyle. And so we've got Mr. Philip Emerson with us today from Las Vegas, proud owner of a Phaeton 40IH. And just want to say thank you for joining us for a conversation.
Very nice to meet you. Very nice to meet you, Mr. Tiffin. Well, thank you for having me. This just came up impromptu. Just so you know, I brought my coach in for some warranty work at the beginning of this week, and just happened to be talking to a couple of the guys in the service center, and they happened to show me. They said, have you seen this out on social media? And I hadn't seen anything, so I said, no, I don't really follow a lot of social media. So they showed me, and I won't mention names, but I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I'm thinking that is not my experience at all with the coach. This is my first Tiffin. It's not my first coach. I've had two others in the past, and I've had nothing but a great experience with the coach. And then bringing it into the service center for warranty work. It's just ending the warranty period.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
I know you're here to kind of fire anything you got for us, but why did you choose Tiffin?
Because of your long-standing reputation of high quality. I think it's been mentioned before. I think this is Mr. Tiffin's, one of his sayings, the price is what you pay, value is what you get, and I completely agree with that. Owning two other of your competitors, I won't name them, but owning two in the past, I can attest to that firsthand now that I have one. But I'd always heard, when I had, with mine, I'd always heard that Tiffin is, it's a cut above the rest. And so when I had the opportunity, that's what I purchased. Now, I can tell you that in the last, 4 years or so, especially since you became a member of the Thor family, sure, there were grumblings. I have an RV tech that I've had for many years, about 20 years, that anything that goes wrong with the rig, I can bring it to him. I'm pretty hands-on myself too, but to the extent I need some help, he's always there. And when I decided to, look around, I told him about Tiffin, and I'll tell you that what he said was, we don't know yet because it had just happened. Right. This marriage, so to speak, had just happened. He said, but usually when something like that happens, the parent company will, start to exert some control over, Tiffin in this case. And he said, you might want to pay attention to that. And so I have paid attention. You hear the rumors that, well, when the big companies come in and buy the smaller company, especially a family-owned business like this that's been known for nothing but high quality, you get the bean counters involved, and now the sinks that used to be of the higher quality, they save a nickel or two on each one of them. And so that actually was in the back of my mind at the very beginning, but I've been watching it for 3 years, and that's why I picked mine up last year. I don't see it. And I've talked to Tiffin owners that have bought, in the last few years. It appears to be the same quality.
Yeah, I would have to agree. Obviously, the thing I always point out when this topic comes up is, maybe that's true in some cases. Maybe when ownership changes, companies change. I think we've all seen it in some industry or another, and probably plenty of examples in the RV industry. But also what precedes the change is the people change. And, I'm here, my dad's here, my grandfather, founder of the company, is still here. And it's like I say all the time, man, I'm 36 years old. I got to make a living. I love what I do. I mean, this is the only place you're going to find me in the RV business. So we're committed and interested in carrying that legacy forward. And I think that's really the key. So often when Thor or whomever buys a company, I think, the acquired shareholders no longer have a passion for it. And for us, we figured out a long time ago, it's about some things other than money.
Well, I couldn't agree more. And I think that's the anomaly that I see in this marriage, so to speak, because I mean, doing what I do for a living, and as long as I've been doing it, usually when there's a sale like this, the existing owner that just sold, they're only in it for a couple of years and they're out the door. They already have 1 foot out the door, you know, at the time of the transaction. So I'm very, very delighted to see that that's in fact not the case. In fact, if anything, it looks like it's stronger. Obviously, you know, Mr. Tiffin himself and Mr. Van Tiffin and yourself and Trent. I mean, you guys at the helm. I've got a lot of confidence in that. You know, I have a lot of confidence in that. I just wish that, I mean, so let me ask you a couple of questions, if I may.
Sure.
You know, what do you do about those out in social media? There's always going to be the naysayer. There's always going to be the naysayer. And I think this has been brought up before, and I think it's just common sense that if you buy a Honda or you buy a Toyota or you buy a car that's manufactured, you know, millions a year, they're put together by robots. Tolerances are low. They come out almost perfect. But even those don't come out perfect. I think that's lost on a lot of people that buy a motorhome. They think that it's built the same, it should be, you know, come out like that. But even vehicles, even the automotive industry, have recalls. It's not something, it's not new. The motorhome, it's craftsmanship. It's true craftsmanship. I mean, it's handmade. So what do you do to educate those out there? I mean, and I would love to have have some type of a big foghorn or something to say, hey, look, you really have to put it in perspective. And the reason I'm asking is because I have a Tiffin. I expect it to maintain the value that I have seen in my research of Tiffins over many, many years. Now, obviously, we're in this digital age of social media where messaging can get out in a snap and, quote, go viral. And that could actually affect a company's reputation, even if it's not completely correct.
I agree with that.
You know, and I think that might be what's going on. I just saw it on Monday when I came in, and I was talking to, a couple of guys in the service center, and I have nothing but great things to say about that service center. I mean, they take care of things, Leigh, that really aren't under warranty.
Right.
Really shouldn't be under warranty. But I think they just want to make it right.
Correct.
And that's what I've got out of them. But what do you do so that people are educated that what you're dealing with is it's handmade, it's handcrafted, and you can see that. Once it gets out on the road, I've always referred to it as a house on wheels.
Right.
I've heard it referred to as a rolling earthquake.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to move around. Things are going to happen.
Well, if you've ever built a new home, you probably had a punch list.
Yes.
This is no different in many ways. I mean, no matter how many times you cycle everything and go through everything, there is some element of subjectivity in it. And so I think educating prospective owners on what the process should be and setting realistic expectations is always an important element of providing great customer service.
I would agree.
And how you protect your digital reputation, if you will, which frankly is something I didn't even think about 5 years ago. That's got to be more of a focus for us as a company, and it is. I think having a transparent, full-length conversation with an owner and just saying, hey, we showed up unscripted. I know you showed up unscripted. Ask us whatever you want to ask us, and let's let the truth speak for itself. And then let's let reasonable people make up their minds because, the aforementioned, I guess, unnamed influencer that you were referring to,
yeah.
I think she's got a different motive than we do.
I certainly think she's got a different motive. That everyone has their own interests in mind, and it's unfortunate. I mean, if it goes too far, then,
Sure.
There may be a problem, but a legal problem. But I agree with you that I call it a house on wheels. And when you buy your house, there's always a punch list. That's why there's a warranty. The two prior coaches that I've had, the same thing. Seems like it's about 11 months. You got to get out there and run, roll the rig down the road, and things come up. Things that you're not going to see in quality control.
Right.
You can have the best quality control team. There's certain things that you just won't see. You got to get it out and get it in use. And
some issues just manifest after a certain number of miles or what have you, and you learn. And that's why I always like to talk about the fact that Tiffin's been doing this for 52 years. We're not perfect, but we've made a lot of mistakes. We've learned from them. We incorporate those learnings into future designs and future practices, and I think that's worth something. I want to know that if I'm buying a motorhome.
Absolutely.